Today is May 31st, 2020, and I want to kind of do a vlog, I guess, of some personal goals that I have. So I started working with a running coach like December 20th, 2019, I think it was, when I hired her through the Marathon Training Academy podcast. And I've been working with her to try to hit my goal for a half marathon that, thanks to COVID-19, that shut the entire world down. One got canceled and then the other one got pushed back to October of this year, assuming that can even take place. So I've been consistently running, and it has been the number one way that I get to kind of sort through my daily thoughts and feelings. Back when I was at work, I would kind of decompress the day with it. And now that the world got put on hold and it's summer, it's like the one way I get out of my house to make sure that I get that vitamin D, which is important. So anyways, I decided that it's been a desire of mine, kind of like a loose desire, I guess, like no real goal or ambition, just kind of an offhanded comment saying it'd be really cool to Boston qualify. And I am by no means anywhere near. My age group has to get like a 3:30 marathon or something. Like it averages to an 8-minute mile for 26 miles. And the one marathon I ran in 2017 was a 4 hour and 54 minute time, so about 5 hours. So I have quite a bit of work ahead of me, but I decided, because I've been super consistent and the gyms are getting ready to open back up here, that I'm gonna focus on trying to get some of that muscle back that I've lost from the inability to go to the gym, for one thing, and then like just kind of focusing on running, because cross training and strength training is really good for runners anyways. But my new goal is to Boston qualify by 2025, which means that my goal right now is to focus on my training with my coach, getting back on track with that. This week was a little bit rough because things happened, and then really just chisel away at the time. On average, I can run anywhere between like a 9:30 and a 10-minute mile, with like 10 to 12 miles is where I was at when I was at the peak of my half marathon training. So I think giving myself 5 years to do that should be plenty of time. And I'd kind of like to check in or monitor the progress along the way, just to see how far I've come. So that's my goal. That's what I'm going to focus on for right now. And yeah, just out walking right now. And I wanted to put my thoughts out there. Honestly, I want to run the world major marathons. Partially because the travel would be cool, but also because how many people get to say it. And you can't sign up for these lotteries just hoping eventually you'll get in. I mean, that's what you're doing, but the better prepared you are when you get that acceptance notice, I think that'll be more freeing, knowing that I'm not gonna completely freak out and be like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna run a marathon? So if I'm preparing for it beforehand, and have a base of running, it'll seem a little easier. And I mean, it doesn't make a marathon easy by any matters of the mind. There's not really any fun in training day in and day out for 26 miles, especially right now during a pandemic, when who knows when you're actually going to race. But we have to reach some level of normalcy at some point, right? So This is my journey for the Boston and the World Majors. Someday I'm gonna get in, and I'll look back at this video, and it'll be the day it started. So I just registered for the Berlin Marathon lottery, and it's like a 15% chance to get in, but you know, 2020, I don't know if anybody's like looking, I don't know if this is the normal time for the lottery to happen, and I don't know if people are like paying attention to the lotteries this year, because I know London lottery happened at a different time and I entered that. So London usually only like a 3 to 5% chance of getting in. Berlin, I read, is about 15%, so neither one has odds in my favor. Both are part of the World Majors, but it would totally be a 2020 experience if I ended up getting pulled for both, because they're literally, I think, just a couple weeks apart from each other in 2021. And if I get pulled for them, there's a potential that I run 4 marathons in 2021. And it's kind of like a crazy thought, but doable if I train smart. Just gonna be kind of funny. So we'll see what happens. Well, I am finishing week 1 of marathon training, and it was a pretty good week, actually. I had, on an easy run, I took it downhill, I had a good pace on Thursday. Tuesday I went a little bit hard, and not hydrated enough, but it's okay. And then really trying to maintain both some sort of strength training through this process for cross training and enjoy it. I weighed in today at 139, and I'm just kind of interested to monitor that throughout this process. Monitor it throughout the process and see, will I decrease weight, increase weight, or hold steady? I'm hoping to just kind of hold steady. I don't really want to lose weight. I feel like I am at a light enough weight that people are already commenting on it. And I definitely don't want to gain weight because that adds pressure to my joints. So let's hold steady. I'm literally just finishing week 2 of marathon training. Long run, 7 miles. I took a route up this road called Horizon Ridge, which for like 1.5 miles to almost like 1.75 miles, it's just like straight uphill. Which, since one of my marathons is primarily downhill for the first 18, 20 miles, I feel like that's important to do on long runs. My hips hurt a little bit right now, so as soon as I get to my front door, I'm gonna stretch it out and try to make sure that those don't get hurt. I need to do better with recovery. This week kind of sucked. Weather-wise, it was great for running, but like Tuesday night, I got an email saying that the LA Marathon is now postponed from the March 21st date to May 23rd. And I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to get the Monday off that follows it. And I'd really like to have that day off, because the last time I ran a marathon, I felt like I had rigor mortis for the next like 2 days because it hurt so badly to walk. But, you know, if I can't get it off, hopefully I'll have somebody that like goes down to the race to support me while I run it, so they can drive me home afterwards, because the race starts at 6. I should be done by like 11 or 12, grab something to eat, and then run home or drive home. But that's not really ideal. I always try to end my route so that I have to walk a little bit as a cool down to get to my house, which is what I'm doing right now because I think it's important to cool down. And I don't really like the idea of finishing 26 miles, sitting down to eat, and then sitting in a car for 4.5 hours. But, you know, sometimes a sacrifice has to be made. That's a fairly minor one. And that's also saying that 30,000 people will be able to gather by May, which seems next to impossible right now. I just finished my 10-mile run. I think I'm like 5 weeks into marathon training now. I forgot the last 2 weeks to do an update. It's cold this morning. It was in the 30s when I headed out. It's probably mid 40s now, but I'm warm. I've had a hard time being motivated because I just am stuck in thinking that races are still going to be put on hold at least until next fall. But I'm hopeful because Rebel ran a limited edition in waves that somehow they might be able to adopt that for the April race, which is like 3.5 months away. It's crazy to think about. I have had some aches and pains, tightness, lingering injury. I did not get into the Berlin Marathon this year. London results will come out mid-January. So fingers crossed for that. I can't even cross my fingers right now, I'm tired. But yeah, I'm still training, hoping that the races will happen. A little bit of injury, a little bit of stiffness, a little bit of soreness, but nothing that has really set me back a whole lot. I just am mindful of it while I run. I think I need like a good massage and like really focus on doing more stretching on my days off. But yeah, we're at least a month into marathon training. I'm officially this week 1 year with my running coach, who has kept me accountable, and I wouldn't be the runner that I am without her support. And I've definitely improved, even though sometimes it feels like I haven't. So anyways, that's my first marathon vlog.